Baby, my little Miss Daisy. They call it crazy, my mind is a hazy sun. The brighter the sky, the higher I can see through my eye. Will I ever know why, or will I really get to die? Energy, I am alive. Should I strive while I ride, or let the stream take me home? Do I need a gun on the hand, or will God save the good land? Will I learn to feel my feet beneath the sand and dream under the stars fully synced? Would it be all at once, or is it there and I am here? If I end the fear, will I still get to keep what's dear? Or did I always, and once that way I steered? Will that sea of reason make the sea clear from the core? So am I the one who's knocking at my door? And oh, wait at the shore, I don't know who's it for. Swimming orange horizons, a sunset scorched, lit up by my unintentional flow. On torch by the forge, I can't seem to urge, but used to storage. The force poured like a dirty porridge, stirred with an ogre bugger and a hooker on sugar. Put the old fridge, poor bitch away, while I portage with the ostrich and put on the portrait. I wanna be blood-stitched while I hold drop and hop through the thoughts like a morgue pit on ample, lost on a shore abyss, searching for the spore bliss when we all came from a star kiss. Seizing the seizure of a sudden road drunk on burden when it can't reload no more. Tempting to explode on a new golden mode and broaden its storm in the lab dorm to worsen the episode. Still cold the part and yet to note on to the warden in Asgard, disheartened as a bad anecdote in the backyard Greenfield garden. A strolling ode to the boulevard like Odin with the vanguard, ready to do a die hard. The solemn molten evolute on growth keeps me from the fallen booth. On booze I loathe to support stall in both the comfort and effort on channel distort to import the report on refine to align the decline on a board for the design of the new resign going on a contort. Serve to escort the sort of subpar guideline, but seemingly pristine like pup. Scar following a lost shooting star as a new avatar gone bizarre on superb magnets as they combine and clash like waters in a coastline cluster, like color clouds beyond the skyline with no deadline, flying divine. Finding my symmetrical walk through this ironical wall, gone paradoxical in a babylonical fall by the out-of-time chronicle, ethical canonical red carpet hall as an optical illusion, losing vision in this tropical magical prophetical oracle held by the mythical mystical celestial. Swims the theoretical, colored dreams gone practical for the electrical world. Glow in this fandango on crescendo show. A radical, analytical, cynical, can't be tactical in this hysterical hysteria on HDysphrenia.
The Mohegan holograms like a cannon unbent, and fill the reel to hill on his canon event. Access programs and watch the hooligan or Anakin being an intentional shenanigan, mannequin mimicking a mime on the core, heart of a withering panic inside the toxic edges of a glass cover scar, turning those knives into flowers, guarding the last supper from our star lover at war like gold showers, shining and burning the city towers. Woo! see you in the funny papers. Was the last thought I gave you in this life. Now lost my wife, gone beyond the sacred sanctuary. As I see you in the newspaper obituary, a deep dive, arbitrary or not, continues contrary of what I thought was going to be the next temporary. A new primary and present of the momentary. In the star skies and internally, it's all legendary. Within all the colorful dark eyes and space from the imaginary. A place I question if we'll ever traverse through like Valhalla. Then will I reach Nirvana, or do I have to cross through my Godzilla? Can I find it through Mandala? Flown away beyond the sentient savannah of marijuana with a fauna, blown by the blow of the king's katana, while the golden throne had grown in the stone. Will I learn to be alone beneath every break and bone, to reach the zone of the unknown? Will that citadel be parallel to the infallible clone, now prone to be indelible, so incredible the inevitable turns caramel, thus irresistible? Or is it fair to call it eligible when the general plays the federal but never steals a decibel, even when it's so edible, even when it's so edible? Dynamical, to be a Pluto, problematical on planet Pluto, lost in the systematical, where you don't keep finding the mathematical, pulverizing like a Kamehameha on a comet, hot and supersonic, going erupted out the cartoon, now fresh flesh, barring the toxic, corrupted, encrypted hippocampus I incepted for the unscripted, not to go chromatic on the quixotic, misconstructed as the cells on romantic mode like Don Quixote, while the hypertonic coloration fades me hypnotic, perpetual to the correlation of the satanic, walking sporadic like a Socratic robotic, hit by the Titanic, so demonic, comparable to the iceberg, so exotic. Now I'm so cold, I'm feeling erratic, a little cooler for my psychotic, to become infamously iconic. Conceivably, how erotic would it be if the chronic of the Masonic goes on to plummet on the other side of the sea summit, eroded by its own bionic chief on its own neuronic logic, gone neurotic from the harmonic, igniting an all platonic. Now I'm mnemonic, gliding beyond the wall, behind the place I can't recall, goes on a calm rampage, renegade on revenge like a narcotic psycho, so graphic, draining and shifting the panic cascade, reflecting the metaphonic, seraphic, photonic, metaphoric escapade, a superfluous super with no cape, so gloriously ironic, the fabulously fable isn't mysteriously honest, spontaneously labelless, just on another shadow star level, far from the mental hernia, all within HDysphrenia.
With a whole magic mole, so controlled from the mole out the hat's rabbit hole, on the cold mine holding the cabin pole, waiting for the column to turn gold, feeling the burn of a tragic soul, like a volcano on rush patrol, painted 4D through a TV portal as a flamingo on Rick and Morty, doing the tango on Rango's boots against all the roots of puss on suits, while on a Humpty Dumpty drive riot, strive remake story, threshold on tune of a clumsy mummy on a witch broom, hatching out the cocoon, blessed by the bloom on full moon, animated lion, a one-time sunshine catalyst on every monsoon, a lost catalog said to prune, the young pain roam rising against the gloom above the doom, the other side of the deep blue, serving everlasting past the feeling I see by it flew, a dreadful emotion stirred to a poison potion, even immortal to the eternal border, the internal inferno can appear terminal in vain, as when a saint is thrown into sobbing rain, with its own mineral paintbrush in hand to stain the little shiny grain to contain one side of the spark from the flame. Maybe it's the game of hell and heaven's Hall of Fame.
Evergreen like a cypress on the cemetery of Atlantis, becoming the enchantress, its own dimension machine, playing praying mantis on the hidden submarine, slaying antiques like Loch Ness, beheading an evil queen, a nurtured big screen sea princess to discipline the repress of distress. Once in progress, the serene will fill the scene like a mansion theme. Palace of Versailles, ready to confess the scheme of high success. By your dream to the nightmare supreme, as the possessed in the sky, obsessed to possess over the big possess, for control over a third eye. Heavy colors, now it stains the euphoric, ethereal, numb on the fly. Vision through the kaleidoscope, looking at a distortedly, psychedelically crafted horoscope in an envelope the size of an isotope. So veiled a microscope is no match, sent from Moscow. Even if we can't cope, endorsing to endow without the sense to truly bestow, unwanting to avow why it can't vow. Maybe it wants to allow the now to slow down and watch ballet instead of a circus clown or a magician drown. Morning breeze chalet, moving to the exclusive buffet on the jet, wet from the storm nets. Ended in Red Square on a bet, roamed alone to red light district, listening to Afro Man. Slept the night in Amsterdam with my dying bouquet. I gazed across the Atlantic, I now see how it's still so romantic. Elusive, like a sachet, sent on a chat, feeling so lucid.
I once needed an excavator for my elevator, where I found a terminator, ready to be a dominator. As a perpetrator, like a dictator, a common denominator, with every raider fuming up the escalator to the savior. Going up faster than Eminem, running out of breath without an EpiPen. Got me with hallucinations with more colors than M&M's, while the anthem plays the gem they used to condemn. Now I near the end game, shivering strange. Every change made, nothing stayed the same. It was all the change. Money laundry coat shell feels heavy like a dead body, like Moby deranged as a kingpin provoking, in which the noble boat fell from Pandora's waterfall. Underwater the box exposed the token and awoken the unbroken through the scope, and the crystal ball open in waters from Exodus. Is it a perilous road or a treacherous traveler with its surplus generous gain? The energy feels like a venomous flame. Either way, still with no fill or a big play. Will the anonymous can land on whichever of the two hills, even if it kills with the pills, while you go blasphemous from the hand above the conscious. The fabulous, hazardous, thriving from the genius. Now it's getting so meticulous, it's rising terminus. Time to switch conscientious and start listening to my subconscious. All the other me's formed a consensus on a self-intervention, censured to all that poses just to impress a bad intention, ensured to compress all that suppress every good surprise. While we aggress from the assess of our regrets, we shall still trust the process of how we now express on our reflect, as the effect composes certain doses that access the regress of what encloses its progress to open waters like Moses. What we used to reject can be changed to something we'd happily select, with no imposes from bosses of any malicious forces. Now the gorgeous princess kisses the golden roses to save the glorious of all proposes before it decomposes. Behold oasis.